And welcome back to another Paul's Aquariums unboxing video. I am Paul, this is Paul's Aquariums shop in Brisbane for the last 25, 26 years. We're going to unbox lots and lots of awesome fish. I think there's 10 different types of tetras, some we've never had before, some that I would like to keep, but I'm not going to because I have too many tetras at home, apparently, according to everyone except me. But lots and lots of other cool fish in here. And I think there's also some really cool native fish turning up halfway through this video. So we're jumping and stuff like that again. But first bag in the first box, they're tetras. Haha! Okay, so the tetras are going to be randomly assorted throughout the boxes because I haven't really had a good look yet. But these are cardinal tetras. They're a South American, awesome, peaceful little fish. They're going to get about that 4 to 5 centimeters. A little bit bigger than a neon tetra. They have the red belly where the neon tetra doesn't. If you don't know what a neon tetra is, that's bizarre because neon tetras are like one of the most common tropical fish apart from angelfish and guppies and stuff like that. But cardinal tetras like the water a little bit more acidic than a neon, so pH anything from 5.5 to 6.8 say, and they like the water a little bit warmer, so you want to keep your temperature between 26 and 29 degrees Celsius, so whatever that is in Fahrenheit, many Fahrenheits. But a very cool little schooling fish. Want to keep a group of them, so you want to keep at least 6 or more of them, and they'll just swim back and forward and look, well, lovely. Nice and peaceful, so don't keep them with big aggressive fish. But that was the first lot of tetras. What if the next lot will be tetras? They're tetras. Wouldn't it be ironic if all 10 different types of tetras were just in a row? And that is the end of the video. No. What are these? These are serpae tetras. So these are a little bit nippier than the cardinal tetras. They'll get a little bit bigger, so they get around to that sort of 5.5, 6 centimeters, which doesn't sound bigger, but they're wider as well as longer. So they look bigger. Yeah, maybe not necessarily longer, but bigger. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. They're not fat, they're just bigger. Cut. Apart from being nippy, they are a lovely, awesome orangey red color, schooling again, slightly acidic for anything pH 6 to 7 sort of thing, and they'll be quite happy. Again, schooling because pretty much all tetras are schooling, so you want a group of them. So 5 are better than 4, and 6 are better than 5, and 10's better than 5, and everything's better than 5. Not really. You can go 5 or more and they will go swimmingly. Oh, next bag, will it be tetras? Oh, it is not tetras. Oh, these are really cool fish. So these are clown killifish. These are from West Africa. They are a super small little nano fish. Really cool little things. I even have a tattoo there from about 4 years ago of a pair of clown killifish. I like them that much. Very awesome little fish. They're going to max out around that sort of 4.5, 5 centimeters, possibly. Let's say 4 centimeters or so. They are not a very big fish. They spend most of the time on the surface of the water, super peaceful. They're still going to eat baby shrimp and stuff like that, but you can keep them with like neon tetras and smaller stuff. Don't keep them with the serpae tetras, because serpae tetras, well, harass the little buggers. But you want your pH between sort of 6.5 and 7 for these, and anything temperature-wise, 24, 26 degrees, they will be perfectly fine. Very pretty little awesome fish. Tetras. South American tetras again. So these are, what are they? They are tetras. We know that. They're lemon tetras. Okay, we have lemon tetras. Haven't coloured up yet in the bag, but they are a decent size. Called a lemon tetra because they have a lovely sort of lemony hue to them. They have little yellow tips on the tail and the fin, and they have a weird, cool little red eye. So it sounds not terribly exciting, but when you see them in a dark tank with lots of plants and that, their color really sort of just shines and they look awesome. So a nice lemon tetra because they are lemony. Again, that makes no sense. They're a lemon tetra because they're lemony. They don't taste like lemon. Don't eat lemon tetras. But again, you want a school of these. They're going to be perfectly fine, 6.5 to 7 pH, and anything from 22 to 26 degrees Celsius, and they will be, well, lovely. Haha, not tetras, and these are Rift Lake cichlids. What have we got? Tropheus du Bois. Okay, so these are kind of cool. These live in a really high pH lake in Africa. So Rift Lakes are like giant lakes in Africa, so big that you can actually surf on them. They have waves. That's a wave. There's someone surfing on the wave. Cut. Very big lakes, very hard alkaline, so lots of mineral content. pH is anything from 8.5 to about 9.5. These are algae-eating, low-protein eaters, so you want to feed them sort of low-protein foods because they're low-protein eaters. But spirulina, sort of veggie flake, that sort of stuff, nothing too high protein because they've got a really long digestive tract. When they're little, they're black with cool little whitey blue dots. When they get bigger, they have a blue head, black body with a yellow stripe. I know, vertical yellow stripe, not horizontal yellow stripe. Very, very cool fish. They're going to max out around that sort of 10, 12 centimeters schooling. So you want a group of these, sort of like the tetras, but different. If you've only got a few of them, they're going to fight with each other and there's going to be absolute carnage. If you have sort of like, say, 5, 6, or 8, they will all intermingle and do their thing. A very awesome little cichlid if you want something different for a high pH tank like Tanganykan or a Malawi Tanganykan mixed tank. They could be fine at 8, 8.5 as well. Should have a few bags of these, so lots of cool trophies. Yay. Also not tetras, we have pygmy corrydoras. Now these go well with smaller tetras, not bigger tetras. These are South American little dwarf catfish. They're going to max out around that 2.5, 3 centimeters max for a big, big female. Males are about 2 centimeters. Very, very awesome little things. We usually get quite a few of these in. They are peaceful schooling catfish, 6.5 to 7 pH. Temperature 22 to 26 degrees and they will be fine. Obviously don't keep them with big fish because they'll get eaten, but a cool little catfish if you want something that doesn't eat algae but it rummages around the bottom of the tank and picks up scraps of food and generally looks pretty awesome. They are really, really nice fish. Now I don't know if I've already posted it or I'm about to post it after this video, have no idea, but lots of my pygmy corys at home have been spawning again, so that was in my fish room video or in my future fish room video. I don't know because I don't even know what day it is. Probably already posted that video, so go check that out if you want to see little baby ones of these. Well, they're eggs and big ones. You can sort of see how big they are. Cut. More catfish. Okay, there should be a fair few bags of these. This is a mixture of all the bigger types of catfish. Well, they're not. They're bigger compared to the pygmy corys, but they're not a huge catfish. So mixture of, I think there is albino, bronze, and peppered corydoras. They're going to max out around that sort of on average 4 to 6 centimeter sort of size, so a lot bigger than the little pygmy corys. Again, everything that relates to the pygmy corys relates to these cory catfish, just different colors and patterns of the same sort of thing. You want to keep a school of them, so 3 or more, perfectly fine with most tetras and stuff. These are big enough to go with serpé tetras and slightly bigger tetras like that. But all round, awesome little fish if you just want something that's going to spend all the time rummaging around the bottom of your tank, picking up all the scraps of food and just stirring up your sand and your gravel and stuff like that. Very awesome little fish. I should have told you there was a mixture of tropical and cold water as well. So some of them are temperate, they'll go down to like 5 degrees Celsius and some of them will go up to like 30 degrees. A big mixture of fish. Ooh, we have more tetras. Haha! I don't know how many we're into now. I think this is like the 4th or 5th lot. These are black neon tetras and they are huge. They are an awesome size. That is good. Black neon tetras are not a neon tetra that's black, but they are a different species of tetra called a black neon tetra because they have a black stripe, a whitey sort of fluorescent green stripe and a red eye. A little bit bigger than a normal neon tetra, not as big as the serpé tetras, sort of in between, say 4.5 centimeters for these. Very nice little schooling tetra if you want something in between size. They work out really, really well. Not nippy or anything like that, just a little bit bigger than your standard small neons, I should say. I did say just then. Cut. More tetras. I bet we'll have like 9 lots of tetras and the last lot will be the last ones or something weird like that. Well, of course the last ones are going to be the last ones. I mean the last fish in these boxes, which is a fair bit of fish still to go through. But these, anyway, are, what are they? These are costae tetras. Okay, Troy, if you still want them, we have lots of costae tetras. These are going to get a little bit bigger and chunkier than the other ones. These are going to max out about that 6 centimeters, maybe 6.5 centimeters. Pretty big, pretty chunky, a little bit nippy, so these will go really, really well with like your bigger rough and tumble fish and sort of like geophagus sort of size or decent size sort of mini dwarf cichlids. That makes no sense. Decent size mini dwarf cichlids. These are soft acidic water again, so anything pH wise from 6 to 7. Temperature wise 23, 26 degrees Celsius. You want to school them, so you want a nice group of like 5 or 6 of them, and they'll just spend their time darting around. But because they're a decent sort of size, don't keep them with little delicate fish. I probably wouldn't keep them with pygmy corys or guppies, but they're generally okay with cardinal tetras and slightly bigger things, etc, 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 etc. Ooh, okay, these are cool. I do keep these at home. Hopefully there's a couple of bags of these. But these are Albino Congo tetras. Obviously they come from the Congo area, so they're an African tetra, but slow with an L, low pH. So these guys and girls will live roughly at about that 6 to 7 pH. Again, there's a lot of different tetra as well. Completely other side of Africa than the Rift Lakes where the trophias are, so don't mix them even though they're in Africa, but Africa's a big place and there's lots of different water quality. Albinos sound boring, but these have the iridescent sheen to them and they are awesome. They're going to max out around that 10-12 centimeters, so they're a big chunky tetra. Albino ones are nice and they're a decent size. Perfect time if you want some really cool bigger albino tetras, and I can see males and females. Lovely fish. Get them. Is there even anything in that bag? Oh, there is. Look, shrimp. Finally. Yellow Neocaridina. Yes, they are yellow. Oh, they're little. Yellow Neocaridina shrimp. These are from China. Mix them with the fish, and most fish will eat them, apart from things like big pygmy corydoras. So I was going to say pygmy corydoras. No. What is pygmy? Use that code word to get a discount. Pygmy corydoras will not eat these unless they're dead or dying, but if you mix these with any tetras, generally they're going to just keep trying to harass them and eat them. So if you want something just for a shrimp-only tank, shrimp is recommended. I was going to say the shrimp also will survive cold water to tropical, so ideally anything from like 10 degrees all the way up to like about 25, 26 degrees. But we have more blue shrimp, so I'm telling you that now because these are blue shrimp, so blue Neocaridina, same as the yellows, but they're blue. I know. So we had blue and yellow shrimp back in. Mix them together, you won't necessarily get green shrimp, but who knows, you might get a few different weird colours. But lots of cool little shrimp back in. Don't mix them with fish. Oh, okay, more tetras. We have not had these before, and these are awesome. So if you saw, like, I think about 3 or 4 months ago, one of my unboxing videos, I had, what were they, albino emperor tetras, and they are awesome, awesome, awesome fish. If you look at any of my fish room videos, you'll see them in there because we had a few babies survive and all that sort of stuff. But these are albino blue emperor tetras. Ooh. Which the blue bit means they'll get a nice blue sheen to them. These are obviously very small. I didn't get many of them because I'm an idiot. I should have got more. Should be a couple of bags of them. They are lovely. I'm looking at them in the bag going, I want these. I'm not going to take them home. Someone please come in and buy all the albino blue emperor tetras or Kerry tetras, so I don't take any home, because the normal ones are fine, but these are just awesome. Never had these in the last 26 years of unboxing fish in this shop. We have not had these, so they are a relatively new strain. Very, very awesome. They're going to max out around that sort of 5-6 centimeters. Like most of the other emperor tetras, just a slightly different species. And albino, yay, which will just get rid of the brown, so you have a cool fish that's going to get a nice blue sheen to it as it matures and looks well lovely. So schooling fish, you want to keep them anything pH 6.5 to 7. Keep a group of like 5 or more of them. Tropical, so 24, 28 degrees, and they will go well. Awesome, awesome, awesome. More tetras. Okay, we must be close to like 10 lots of tetras. I hope someone's counting because I'm not. Maybe there's a random number on the stream. Stream? We're not the stream. Shh, we're not the stream, little fish. But these are ember tetras, South American. They are pretty awesome as well. They stay really, really small, so they're not going to get as big as a neon tetra. These are going to max out around that sort of 2 centimeters, 2.5 centimeters. Called an ember tetra because they're a reddy orange color, which embers are reddy orange color, apparently. Well, they are, apparently. Disclaimer, apparently. But very, very awesome little fish. Small, peaceful, schooling. Not going to harass anything. They're still going to try and eat shrimp in that, but the smaller the fish, the less shrimp they're going to eat, or the less shrimp parts they're going to eat. Sounds disturbing, doesn't it? Because it is. But a nice little peaceful schooling fish. Slightly acidic, below 7 pH, and they will do very, very well. Ooh, oh, oh, oh. They are a decent size. Look at that. That is much bigger than the last lot we had. Black kuli loaches. They're like big, wormy, eely type things. So these are an Asian fish. They are a fish, not a snake, not an eel. Yeah, they're called a loach, which is a type of fish. Oh, there's some cool ones in there. I really like these. So if you have a group of these, they are just going to spend all the time rummaging around the bottom of your tank, and they just look like a big mat of eely noodle stuff. Eely noodle stuff. Check that out. Who doesn't want that? Everyone's like, why would you want that? Because they're awesome. That's why you would want that. Look at them. Okay, black kuli loaches, tropical fish, so you want to keep them 22, 26 degrees, slightly acidic, so anything 6.5 to 7 pH, they will be fine. Very cool. They're going to max out about that 10 centimeters, so not overly huge. They're not going to eat any fish unless it's a dead or dying fish. Might try and eat things like shrimp, but they're generally pretty peaceful, awesome little fish. If you want something different that looks like a snake, but it's not a snake, go for these. Not a tetra, like a tetra. Why does it say only 6? Okay, we ordered more than 6, but we got 6. Harlequin Rasboras. They may be on the screen. If they're not on the screen, it's because there's only 6 of them, but they are like an Asian tetra. Very cool. Got the Harlequin mark, which apparently is a Harlequin jester thing, something someone said once. Them. From Papua New Guinea. They are peacock gudgeons. Okay, not a tetra, not a cichlid, but a gudgeon. So peacock gudgeons are going to max out around that sort of 8 to 10 centimeters. They get a decent size to them. Called a peacock gudgeon because they've got all those different awesome colors to them. These are just starting to get a little bit of color to them. They're generally okay with slightly bigger tetras than that. Don't mix them with delicate small fish. Because they're going to be about a 10 centimeter fish, they can nip at tiny little fish. I probably wouldn't keep them with ember tetras, but they're okay with like neon tetra size and bigger. Okay with loaches and that. pH wise, anything from 6.5 to 7.5, and they will do well. And they are a tropical fish as well, so keep them above 20 degrees Celsius and they will love life. Awesome little, I was going to say barbs, tetras, loaches, no, gudgeons, empire, no, gudgeons. Another fish that we ordered lots of and got like 4. Is there 4 in there? I don't know, there's 3 in there. There may be more, but I have a horrible suspicion there's not. So these are dwarf chain loaches. Yes, these are the best things for eating snails, but if they're not on the screen or they're just on the screen and gone, it's because we didn't get enough of them to really sell. They are schooling fish, so you want a group of more than what's in this bag. They max out about 5-6 centimeters, but dwarf chain loaches, if you want something that eats snails in your tank but doesn't eat any fish, including guppies and other peaceful stuff, unlike sort of clown loaches and reticulated loaches that get big, these don't. And they are perfect little snail eaters. They just suck the snail straight out of the shell. Yes. Try and get some of these if you have snail problems and you want a really cool fish. But didn't get many this time, hopefully more next time. Didn't get many of these either. Okay, it seems to be a continuous theme of ordering but only getting a few. We have black ruby barbs. They are called black ruby barbs because they have black speckles on a ruby coloured fish, which is a barb. Okay, these are an Asian fish. They're going to max out about 5-6 centimeters. They colour up really, really pretty. These are a little bit too small to colour up, but you may see a little bit of colour on the screen. They're a tropical fish, so 6.5 to 7 pH and 25, 26 degrees, and they will go well. Can be a little bit nippy. Don't keep them with guppies, but you can keep them with all your tetras and other barbs and stuff like that. All round awesome little fish. Maculata Rasbora. Okay, these are the tiny little dwarf Rasbora. These are probably one of the few fish you can get away with shrimp because they are so small. Like they max out about 2 centimeters or so. Very hard for these to eat an adult shrimp. They will eat baby shrimp, but you know, it is what it is. Very pretty little fish. Called a 2-spot Rasbora. Or is that a 3-spot Rasbora? I'm pretty sure it's just called a 2-spot Rasbora. Does it have 2 spots on it? They do. They got 2 spots on them. 2-spot Rasbora. That's why, because they're Rasbora with 2-spot. Tropical, peaceful, 6.5 to 7 again, 25, 26 degrees, and you can't go wrong. Very small, peaceful, awesome little fish. Okay, the bag says 20, but there is 2 fish in this bag, 3 fish in this bag. Looks like a normal harlequin and 2 purple harlequins. They're supposed to be purple harlequins. if there is more in these boxes, they'll be on the screen now. And a purple harlequin is just a different color mutation of a normal harlequin Rasbora, which we should have got, but we only got a few of. They have like an iridescent gold head on a cool purple and black body. I know, really, really pretty. Nice fish, haven't had them for a little while. Hopefully they're there. If they are not there and there's only 2 swimming around the screen, that means that's all we got. I know, we're unboxing together. Okay, I looked and there was no more purple harlequin Rasboras, so that's pretty sad. So everything I said about them is fine, but there's none here. What a shame, hopefully next time. Oh, more kuli loaches though, we do have them. These are the normal stripy kuli loaches, so yeah, you would think the brown ones would be the normal ones and the stripy ones would be the stripy ones, but the stripy ones are the normal ones and the brown ones are the brown ones. Everything that applies to the brown ones applies to these. They are a different species. These are a little bit smaller than the brown ones, but like ½ a centimetre difference in size. Small, wiggly, cool. How cool are they? I know. Everyone should have some of those because they're wiggly. Wiggly, 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 wiggly. The last lot of tetras. Yay! We have neon tetras. Okay, red, blue. They have the white belly, different than the cardinal tetras and all that sort of stuff. Tetras. And it wasn't the last bag. That's great because we're almost through this box and then we have more fish after this one. Neon tetras, South American, they'll survive anything from 20 degrees to 25, 26 degrees. They don't like the water as warm as a lot of the other tetras. Pretty awesome little fish. pH 6.5 to 7 and they will go well. In the wild they last for about a year or so, then when the Amazon floods they spawn and then it dries out. Doesn't really dry out. When it floods they go into the trees and bushes and stuff like that. Oh, this sounds so dodgy, doesn't it? And then they spawn, and then when the water recedes, they kind of get trapped in the little puddles, and that's usually the end of them, unfortunately. But in captivity, they will live up to 10 years if you look after them. So they live a lot longer in captivity than they do in the wild. But they're red, they're blue, and every predator must see that. I mean, come on, they're pretty awesome little fish. Nice and peaceful, cheap, schooling, lovely tropical fish. We have some golden fishes. Okay, yay, goldfish. These are from China. These are shabunkins, which means a motley colored goldfish. These are gonna max out around that sort of 30, 40 centimeters. So they get pretty big. Cold water, anything from like 1 degree Celsius up to like 20 degrees is their ideal range. They don't like it above 20, so it's a bit of a pain in summer, but a very, very cool fish. Don't want to really mix in with your tropical fish in that if you can help it, because different pH, different temperature. These like the water slightly alkaline, so anything from 7.2 to 7.4 is the ideal range in pH, and nice and cold. And you can have lots of cool goldfish. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's a fair few bags of those, and then we got some bigger ones. Yay! Oh, there's a pink shabunkin with the beady black eyes. How cool is that? So they will stay this color. So a lot of other goldfish, you have black and gold ones, they go all gold, or if you have gold and white ones, they go all white. Shabunkins stay that color, so you'll get that cool, awesome, motley color with the blues and everything on them for life. Tons and tons of shabunkins. There's more bags of shabunkins. There are a lot of bags of shabunkins. Shabunkins. And we have actually jumped a day, and we have another tiny little box of fish. So these are native Australian fish. These are Barcoo River rainbow fish, obviously from the Barcoo River in Queensland, which is sort of central Queensland. And this is where it gets really, really cool with fish like rainbow fish and that, is they go through extremes. So they'll go really, really cold to super tropical. So their temperature range is going to be anything from like as little as 5 degrees Celsius all the way up to like 30, 35 degrees Celsius. So a very, very tough fish, and they're going to survive very cold, well, and they're going to survive a big range of pHs as well. So depending on rains and time of the year, yeah, they can go anything from really acidic to alkaline water. So they're a really, really good choice if you want a super tough, hardy fish, even a pond fish. Oh, and they're a decent size. Oh, how cool is that? So Barcoo River rainbows, like most rainbows, as they mature, will widen up and they get a lot of color to them. So they're just starting to show a little bit of color in the bag. As you can probably see on the screen in the tank, they're just starting to get a little bit of color too. These go a really nice greeny yellow color, and they're gonna max out a decent size. They're gonna get probably around that sort of 15 centimetre size. So once they get to about 10 centimetres, and these are probably about 6 or 7 centimetres, they widen up as well. So they get that rainbow sort of shape to them. If you haven't seen that before, it's sort of like a fish shape, I suppose you could say. But very, very awesome little fish. Suitable for ponds, tropical tanks, a wide range of sort of setups and stuff like that. Now that was the last bag in this lot. If you did enjoy this video, click the thumbs up so I know. If you've got any questions or anything, comment down below. If you've never commented before, comment down below and say hi. I reply to all my messages and stuff like that and comments. If you want to watch more unboxing videos, there'll be one on the screen, well, a playlist on the screen soon. And if you want to become a member and have a discount on absolutely everything in the shop, yes, everything, not just fish, you can become a member and do all that wonderful stuff. And there's members only videos with members only discounts. Hoorah! Anyway, thank you heaps to all my new members. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will see you in the next video. Hoorah!